brothers. You know? So we stayed in this building just south of us right here, and about 10 o'clock that morning, I'm looking out the window, water's this far on the windowsill on the second floor. I got Category 5 water, you know, that far under the windowsill, and I'm gawking out the window watching the pelicans swim by like my mama said, like I had good sense, you know. I got Category 5 water right there. So my brother-in-law told me, that he said, Bob, come over here. He said, every time that wave comes up, it breaches them bottom two windows. He said, let's put a little pressure on them. We didn't want that nasty salt water coming in the bedrooms. I said, yeah, okay, Charlie, I can do that. You know, so he grabbed one, I grabbed one, I turned around this way. About that third wave, I looked around, I got a big brown blob coming at me. And guess what happened? When you got a wave in the window, guess what? It's coming. It knocked me back about 15 feet. And I get up, I've got cuts all over me, and I go in the kitchen, and I got a big gash in my gluteus maximus right here, and I got blood running down the leg. So every emergency kit needs to have some duct tape, right? Yeah. So they duct taped me up, set me on the carpet for about 5 hours. And when the water subsided, I said, get me to the hospital for the crowd, because I knew they was going to have a crowd. So they pulled a 3.5-inch piece of glass about 1 inch wide out of my gluteus maximus, you know, while they're all, you know, direct pressure and everything else while I got that glass in me, you know. So anyway, while they was doing that, my brother-in-law was in the back taking a battery out of a Jeep, and guess what got him on the thumb? Copperhead. Ooh. So we both spent the night in the hospital, poisonous snake, copperhead. And so we both spent the night in the hospital. He was in the bed, I was on the floor. I limped out the next morning. He stayed there another week. And another cute story, John Grisham's coming with Anderson Cooper. Okay, he's going to do a story on Anderson, on John Grisham giving $10 million to rebuild homes. So Anderson walks in the restaurant right here. We've been here 44 years. And so when Anderson walks in, I said, you know, your daddy was here 30 years ago. And I said, you and your brother was with me. He said, that was me. He was 8 years old. His daddy died when he was 10, so he didn't have too many memories of him and his father. So I told him that. He said, you know, I remember that. And his daddy was here doing he was on a book tour. He was here signing books up at the mall. This was 1976. And he was up having dinner. While his dad was having dinner, Anderson was at Slippery Sands at the beach going up and down the water park, right? So I still remember to this day, Anderson coming in with a bathing suit on with a towel wrapped around him, going to see his dad. Now, my mother was ecstatic that Wyatt Cooper was in the house. I tell everybody my mother had a doctorate in social endeavors, you know, food, music, art, and fashion. And how does one, well, you got to be well-read. And how does one get well-read? Well, Mother read the New York Times Magazine section for 30 years. You know, she sent my daddy to the newsstand on Tuesday to get the Sunday New York Times. So when somebody came in talking about Giacomo Puccini, she knew what the hell was going on, right? And so, but anyway, what had my mother ecstatic, not so much about Wyatt Cooper being in the house, who was from Quitman, Mississippi, but do you know who Anderson's mother is? Gloria Vanderbilt. So that's what had my mother ecstatic, that Gloria Vanderbilt's husband. Yeah, Gloria Vanderbilt's husband was in the house, right? At fashion, you know, that's what I said. So my mother loved to dress up. So anyway, so that really, in fact, the book he wrote, Dispatches from the Edges, it said he walked into Mary Mahoney, and Bob Mahoney said, welcome back. He said, what do you mean, welcome back? I said, he was here with your daddy 30 years ago. He said, as soon as he said it, I remembered it. But anyway, a cute little sub-story to that was when Gloria Vanderbilt married Wyatt Cooper, the New York Times said Gloria Vanderbilt marries obscure writer from Mississippi. Well, the Clarion Ledger, the state Jackson paper said, Wyatt Cooper marries New York girl. You know, they stuck that needle right back in them. Well, anyway, let me tell y'all what we're going to have for dinner tonight. You ready? First off, we're going to do a delicious cup of our seafood gumbo. Now, John Grisham called it famous in the Runaway Jury and legendary in the partner. This is the back room right here. I don't know if you read the Runaway Jury, but John Grisham said, call Bob Mahoney and tell him to prepare the back room. And they dined on crab cakes, grilled snapper, fresh oysters, and Mahoney's famous gumbo, and all went back to tell about the lovely lunch. I like to say that's in the Runaway Jury. He had a political fundraiser in here, $2,500 a couple. If you wanted to come have lunch with John Grisham, just bring your little check for $2,500. I think we had 10 couples show up. So he collected for his college roommate, Ronnie Musgrove, a quick $25,000. And so while he's walking around, he said, Bob, you know my next book I'm doing, takes place in Biloxi, Mississippi. You mind if I put your restaurant in the book? I said, mine. I said, I'd be tickled at that. You know what I mean? So anyway, so we win Runaway Jury, and we win the next one too, The Partner. You know, so every December we send John gumbo, crab claws, shrimp, oyster soup, crawfish etouffee. You know, well, you never know when he's liable to take another fictional ride through Biloxi. You know what I mean? And you got to eat someplace when he comes through Biloxi, right? But anyway, so we all going to do another cute little story. Denzel Washington comes in one night, and we give him the Sunday punch. We go to broiled crab claws, the sausage, the seafood gumbo, and the stuffed snap. He don't come back the next night, but he sends for the crab claws and the gumbo. He don't come back the next night, but he sends for crab claws and the gumbo. Saturday night he comes in and said, Bob, I need 10 gallons of gumbo. I said, Denzel, what you going to do with 10 gallons of seafood gumbo? He said, 8 gallons are going to my cast party, and them other 2 gallons, I want you to FedEx to my North Hollywood, California home. So I told the basketball coach at Tulane University, Perry Clark, that story. He'd been shipping gumbo to his mama-in-law, CM Newton, Terry Howell, Dick Vitale, all the people at Nike, because they said the quickest way to anybody is through their stomach. You feed them, you can get to them quick. Well, anyway, you done figured out the gumbo's real good. And then we're going to do our ranch dressing on a salad. And then we're going to do a whole bunch of different seafood entrees. I'll describe them, and you pick them. First off, the lobster Georgia. What that is a half a Florida lobster that we take the tail out, dice it up, put it into a cream sauce, and then we add shrimp, brandy, and mushrooms to it. Put it back in the lobster shell with a little cheese over it. That's the lobster Georgia. Then we'll do the stuffed snapper. I call that my gourmet seafood platter. Fish, shrimp, crab, and crawfish. We'll take a filet of snapper and we'll stuff it with shrimp and crab meat au gratin with a little pasta with a little crawfish etouffee. That's the stuffed snapper. Then fresh fish, we have 2 types of fresh fish in the house tonight. We have fresh speckled trout, and we'll broil it and top it with lump crab meat and with a little pasta with a crawfish etouffee as well. And then we have fresh lemon fish, lemon lean cobia, however you might know it by, and we'll top it with lump crab meat as well. Then we'll do shrimp and crab meat au gratin, shrimp and lump crab meat in a cream sauce with a little cheese over it. We'll do fried shrimp. We'll do shrimp and lump crab meat melba. Angel hair pasta, broiled shrimp, melt a little cheese over it, and we'll top it with lump crab meat. Okay? And then if you didn't care for any of those seafood dishes right there, you probably all night came here. No, we teased it. No, we teased it. We teased it. We'll do the prime rib of beef if you didn't care for any of those seafood dishes right there. Prime rib of beef, okay? So let me run them back to you by name only. Okay? That's the lobster Georgia, like a lobster thermidor, the stuffed snap, the stuffed with shrimp and crab au gratin, the broiled speckled trout, the broiled lemon fish, shrimp and crab au gratin, the fried shrimp, the shrimp and lump crab meat melba with the angel hair pasta, milk cheese, the lump crab meat, and then we'll do the prime rib of beef, okay? And about that lady wanted to marry a millionaire and actor, preacher, and undertaker. You know why she wanted to marry a millionaire and actor, preacher, and undertaker? 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4